Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making these pretty patties as seen on Spongebob and as seen on my viral tweet on Twitter with 1 million views. So of course I had to share with you all the pretty patty secret formula. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to start with rising our yeast. Be sure that you are rising it in a glass bowl or a metal bowl if you have it. Just try to stay away from plastic. I had to learn that the hard way. So I'm going to go ahead and pour in a cup of milk into my bowl, and we're going to warm this up in the microwave. You can put it on the stove. Just be sure to watch it because milk does burn really fast. So once that milk is warmed up, you can test it with the thermometer, but if you don't have one, you can use your finger as well. And you just want it to be warm and not too cold, but not too hot, just for you to be able to put your finger in the milk and it not burn. So then we're going to pour in our yeast and our sugar to get that yeast all activated. Once that is in there, go ahead and give it a good mix and wipe down the sides because that yeast is going to be just popping all over the sides with the milk. And once that is mixed, we are going to place this in a warm area. I like to place mine in the microwave with the light on. Just be sure to not accidentally turn that on. And while that is rising, we are going to work on our dry mixture. In your mixing bowl, go ahead and pour in your flour, which should be 4 cups and 1/2 of flour. Along with some sugar, and I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be crazy. We are going to put this in the mixer, so it's no big deal. I'm just going to get some of those ingredients mixed in. Once our yeast mixture is almost done, we're going to go ahead and pour in those eggs. I like to use room temperature, and at this time your yeast should be done, and it should look like this, very frosty and swollen, I guess. If it doesn't look like that, you definitely want to start over. Your milk might be too cold or too hot, but do not continue with the next step if that does not look like that. We're going to pour that into our flour mixture and give it a good mix. And at this point, we're going to kind of speed it up a little bit. I have my mixer on about 4 to 5. I definitely suggest using a still mixer for this because this will be very sticky. If you do not have one though, just try to make it work your best and just use a lot of flour so that it doesn't stick all to your hands. Once that flour is all the way incorporated into that yeast and flour mixture, we're going to pour in some softened butter, and I'm just slicing it up a little bit to make it a little bit easier once it starts mixing. And I'm just going to turn this on while I pour in the rest of my softened butter. And we're going to let that mix for another 5 to 10 minutes just until it forms its shape. Once that starts forming, in another glass bowl, go ahead and put in a little bit of oil, and we're going to pour that around the bowl. And this yeast mixture, again, will be very sticky, so you may have some issues getting it out of the bowl. Do not let this scare you. This is what it's supposed to look like. We are going to use a very hydrated dough for this. So I'm going to form this into a little ball and place this into my oiled bowl and place that into another warm area. Again, I like to use my microwave and turn the light on and let that sit in there for an hour. After an hour, it should be doubled in size like so. I just have to say that looks so pretty. Like, I'm just truly amazed. It is gorgeous. Then we are going to roll our dough onto a little log. Again, this will be very sticky. If you're having issues, feel free to just flour your surface just a little tiny bit. And we're going to roll this into a log, and then we're going to cut this into 8 pieces. And as you see, I have my die ready to go in the back. These colors are going to be up to your choice, so get those ready to go, whichever colors you want your pretty patties to be. Now I'm just going to take out one of those logs that I cut and cut them in half again. And this part definitely comes down to your preference of how many colors you want for your patties and what colors you want to do. So with these 4, I'm going to make these all the same color. And I'm just going to pour a little bit of dye in each one. I personally like to separate them in 4s because mixing it in one big bunch became very, very exhausting, especially for my hands. And this was just a lot easier when I did it this way. So we're just going to mix this until that orange is all through the dough. This part will be a little hard, I'm not going to lie, and it's really annoying because it takes a while for that to get in there, and even after the fact you might still have a marble effect. But long as the outside of the bun is nice and colored, then you will still get the same results. Just keep working that dough until you have that perfect color that you are looking for, and then we are just going to turn this little dough into a little ball like so. And I'm just closing the bottom of my bun just to try and make this smooth as possible, and set that aside, and just repeat that process with every bun. Once you have as many colors as you would like, I'm going to place this onto a parchment paper, onto a pan for this to rise. When it goes into the oven, I probably am going to separate it just because they do get really, really big. So these are going to double in size again. So go ahead and place this on your parchment paper just to let these rise. And I just feel like this part is kind of the fun part where you kind of get to see all the colors coming together. And it just looks so pretty. While our buns are rising, go ahead and beat 1 egg so that you have an egg mixture to go on top of your buns.
1 hour later.
As you can see, our buns have doubled in size. I told you they get really, really big. So now we are going to pour on that egg mixture. It doesn't have to be a lot. I'm kind of overdoing it here, which will make it brown a little bit at the top, but it gives it a very nice crisp. Then we're going to add those sesame seeds, which I think just adds a really cuteness to the bun. It makes it look very cartoony. Go ahead and place these in the oven on 350 for about 25 minutes, and they will come out looking like so. And I'm just going to cut that bread in half. And as you can see, the bread is still very, very soft. The dye doesn't change it, and it also doesn't change the flavor. Go ahead and get your sandwich together for whatever you want to put in your buns. I am using turkey burger with some onion, cheese, and lettuce. Let me know how yours come out and which toppings you chose for your pretty patties. Thanks for watching.
Don't that look appetizing? Good, sir.